you always talk about the journey. You've got the best perspective on the process and stuff like this. How much more satisfying because of the injuries and the illness and the personal hurdles that kids on your team have had to overcome. Just how validated and how gratified you feel for this group.
That's exactly what you said. It's gratifying. We started out with 18, huge number, but we finished with 18 kids and 18 student athletes who are great representatives of Bishop Alemany, both on the court and off the court. And just been very fortunate to coach these young ladies and watch them mature and grow. We definitely had some rough patches along the way, but with any family, with communication, with support, we worked it out, and I'm very proud of that.
The fact that two of those young ladies in particular, in Leslie and Hannah, you can ask them to play 32 minutes in a game in November. You can ask them to play 32 minutes in a Mission League game. 32 minutes in a state championship game, and the production they gave you, and they were pushed, and they were pulled, and they were hit, and they were, they were harassed. I mean, to have that type of presence and that type of effect on a game, I mean, I'm sure words don't really even do justice what they produced for you guys today.
If we had 48 minutes, I'd play them 48 minutes. But to go on to that, what they've sacrificed throughout the season, they gave up shots. They're unselfish to play sometimes games not 32 minutes, maybe half of that. But the fact that we were able to count on them, and they played within themselves and were unselfish, and it was a credit to them shining at the biggest stage. And when you have talented individuals, you allow them to be themselves. And those guys right there with Hannah Johnson and Leslie, they're unselfish, great teammates, and at the end of the day, they're winners as well. So we're very fortunate to have them on our team.
Your guys' defense kind of took a while to rediscover itself.
Yeah.
It was 20 points in the first 11 minutes, but then it was, I think, 10 or 12 points in the next 18 minutes. I mean, obviously, I know your intensity, your passion, telling them, remember the principles, remember the fundamentals that we talk about. But obviously, they had to kind of find something in themselves too, right?
There's no question about it. But I think you got to remember, they're 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds in this big moment, biggest stage. This game has been pumped up from day one, and they're actually here. It took a while. We lost sight of certain responsibilities and things that we've usually done. But once everything starts settling down and basically just looked at it as just another game and another opportunity to show our talents and our abilities, I thought we did a good job of settling down and just taking care of our responsibilities. And we talked about that, trusting their talents and their abilities and trusting each other. And I think at the end of the day, they pulled that off.
You spoke about Leslie and Hannah as that are winners. I mean, obviously you have 18 winners. You have a lot more throughout the program. The last 4 minutes of the Chaminade game in the regular season, the fourth quarter last week, here, when it's winning time, why do you think your group has learned over the course of the year to separate itself and just understanding the value of each possession, each decision, each play? Because you guys don't beat yourself a lot in that time.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the journey. I mean, the tough scheduling, the different teams that we've played, and we've beaten some and we lost some. Bishop Lamont, Etowanda game, teams that we beat, the tough Chaminade games, and the St. Bernard's games. The game that we lost, for example, at the end of the game at Marquette when we played them, that journey allowed us to be in this position and do very well at the end of the day. And those different experiences, and as a team, I think we identified, okay, who we need to get the ball to. When it's 4 minutes left, we need to get a touch from Leslie and as well as Hannah, and they're going to make the right decisions. They're not going to shoot it all the time, but they're going to make the right reads and play within themselves and allow us to be in a successful situation.
When you talk about all those teams, you never back down from playing anybody. Yeah. If you end up going to 1AA next year, you've already prepared yourself by playing that schedule. But through 37 games, For people that don't know, how hard is it to navigate through that? I mean, to beat the caliber of teams, to play the caliber of schedule, to survive the marathon that you've survived for 37 games, and then to win the last one. How hard is that?
It's a difficult. That's why so few do it. So few do it multiple times or whatnot, and that's why you got to cherish the journey, cherish the opportunity that it has been presented. And I think these kids definitely have done that. But constantly, communication with the kids, the coaching staff is vital, with the highs and the lows. And always show to the kids, once again, 14, 17-year-olds, that there's a bigger picture. And yes, basketball is a big picture, but also the game of life. And I'm just very fortunate to be surrounding myself with great people, coaches, and great athletes. And as a result, we're 2013 state champions.
And the last part of that, these girls talk about, how influenced and how motivated and inspired they were about their male peers, hanging a banner up in that gymnasium last year and seeing those names. You're going to have 18 names plus your tireless, relentless coaching staff.
Yeah.
Their names up there. Bryan Camacho's name's going to be up there. Frank Ferry, Mike, etc. I know it's kind of immediate right now. What's the legacy of that group?
The legacy is definitely, they took on a challenge. They were challenged every day, and they didn't back down, whether win or lose. They were challenged every day in practice, in the classroom, in the school community, and these kids gave everything that they had. They trusted each other. They trusted their talents. They trusted the coaches. And as you can see today in the school community, what a beautiful thing, back-to-back state champions from the boys and the girls side. It doesn't happen overnight. But with kids who are talented, with kids who believe that they could achieve some greatness, they were fearless. And we're very fortunate to come on top this year.